This is James Martin for FTE 211-49059, week 5. This is a 5-part assignment. First part, we're going to go over functions checks. There's 3 of them. There's dry, there's dummy ammunition, and then there's a live fire. The live fire we're not going to do. First thing first, we're going to check the chamber. Make sure there's nothing in there. And there is not. We're good, clear to go. For the dry, we're going to go through as many as the cycle operations as we can. Not all of them are going to be met. So here we go. First, we're going to put a mag in, which is brand new, so it's kind of stiff. Okay, feeding would have fed, chambering it would have chambered, locking, you just saw it lock back, which it shouldn't have at that point, but we have an empty chamber and an empty mag. So we're going to fire. We're going to unlock. It would have extracted, ejected, and cock at that point. Now we're going to ride the bolt forward, and then we're going to simply check the reset, which it reset. Fire again. Now we're going to do dummy loads, dummy rounds, and go through the cycle of operations again. First, we're going to unload this mag. We're going to load this mag. So we're going to go feeding. It fed, and it chambered, and it locked. Fire, it fired. Unlocked, extracted, ejected, and cocked. For the live fire, basically would have been the same thing as a dummy run, but letting the live ammunition do the work instead of my hands doing the work. So you have feeding, chambering, locking, firing, unlocking, extracting, ejecting, and cocking. Part 2, week 5, we're going to go over the trigger pull on this. I've done a little bit of stuff to it already, so we're going to go over what it felt like originally and what it feels like now. The trigger to me felt gritty, and it had a little bit of a harsh trigger pull. Now it's pretty smooth. The trigger pull is a little lighter, and it's not as gritty. And the reset feels pretty good. All I did to it was polish up the trigger bow a little bit. That's all I've done so far. So that is it for part 2. So part 3, week 5, we're going to measure barrel length. It's a fairly easy process. We're going to take our rod here, pencil, firearm, and a vise. Stick the rod in. Measure. We're going to mark it. We're going to take our tape measure. I'm sorry, I'm not the best person to film here. And then we've got 5 inches on our tape measure. There's the mark. 5 inches. Part 4 of week 5 assignment is a little bit more complex, but still kind of easy. We're going to measure twist rate. So we're going to take our jag, our patch here, and then we're going to put this on, and then we're going to tape our flag here, and we're going to start at 12 o'clock. We're going to go until that starts to engage the rifling. As you saw there. So started to engage the rifling. We're going to start at 12 o'clock. We're going to mark the front. And we're going to go until this is a quarter of a turn because the math is easier that way. So there's about a quarter of a turn. I'm going to mark it again. We're going to take it out. We're going to measure that distance. Which is about 4 inches. So doing the math in the lecture, by the way the lecture is, it gives us a 1 16th twist rate. Part 5, week 5, we're going to do the go and no go. I already went ahead and off camera and disassembled the slide from the frame. So in order to do this, we just need the barrel and the slide. So we're going to take the go gauge and we're going to put it in the extractor inside of here. If I can do this in a timely manner. And we're going to slide the barrel in to make sure that it locks. And as you can see, there's no gap back here, and the barrel does lock. We want to use just our finger pressure. So now we're going to go to the no-go gauge and put that in the same spot. Maybe. Slide the barrel in. And as you can see, there is a gap there. I don't know how good the camera's picking it up, but there is a gap there. That means that the barrel is not locking into place. So that means this barrel passes. And one thing I want to reiterate, when you're working on firearms is safety is paramount. Make sure you're pointing in the right direction, not pointing at anything or anyone. Make sure the firearm is unloaded, and make sure that you have no ammunition in your workspace, which I never do. I keep the ammunition in a different place altogether than where all my firearms are stored. Again, this is just safety. Safety is number one. All the information given in this week's assignment was provided by the weekly lecture. No outside sources were needed for this assignment.